Hi everyone, I'm Jimmy Rosario for Sweatshop Fitness again, and we're here to talk about 6 ways of losing the weight you gained during COVID. So you can be a doctor, a parent, a housewife, you can have a lot of work at home, you can even be a teacher, but everybody has been gaining a lot of weight. Lots of people who were unable to join online sessions, who were unable to do their physical activity sessions at home, all have gained weight. As soon as they came back, we did a body composition for most of them, and most of them had not just gained weight but gained fat and lost muscle. Okay, so the number one reason we eat during COVID is not because of hunger but because of stress. There were so many problems about financial and having the kids at home, lots of things falling off, being less social, unable to meet your parents and your friends and your colleagues. So this has increased and built up stress in most of us. The problem about stress is that it increases what we call cortisol. So blood cortisol increases your appetite, and obviously you know what happens after that. So many of us don't know is that when blood cortisol levels are increased, this stimulates glucose production, and then that excess sugar gets stored in the body as fat. So when you have too much glucose in your blood, what you need to do also when you get hungry is reach for nutrient rich, even if it's a snack, nutrient rich food or snacks or meals. Usually under stress, what they say is lots of people, they reach for sugary, sweet, carbonated drinks or things like donuts or chocolate to reduce their stress levels. Very few people will eat something like a salad when they're stressed. Okay, so the number one reason which we're going to discuss is to start with a 2-week reset period. First and foremost, don't run a guilt trip. Don't worry about the weight you've gained. Always remember that weight once gained can be lost with a little bit of work. So what we always tell our clients is that we're changing this, we're not putting a lid on this. Okay, so we're not looking at deep dives or deep cleansing or deep heavy detoxing sessions. We just talk about changing your mindset on diet and maybe on exercise as well, ideally. So research shows that if you keep logging your food and you keep being mindful about it, it's always easier to lose weight. Our dietitian and our nutritionist can give you expert advice on that as well. Okay, so what humans today are facing is way more stress than they, let's say, they faced a few thousand years ago. It was short-term stress, like having to fight or kill an animal or finding food for the family during a bad time, during a storm or during bad weather, for example. But nowadays it can be not just days, weeks, but even months of stress about how finances haven't been sorted out, how family issues, how children will go back to school, about their education. So this in turn causes obviously lots and lots of stress. This in turn causes increased inflammation of the body. So if you eliminate foods that cause inflammation, it can speed up your body's repairing systems, and it can positively impact your immune system as well. That way you allow your body to spend more time energizing and repairing itself, if you will. So take 2 weeks, prioritize on eating the rainbow, all colored fruits, reds, oranges, greens, and then slowly move on getting off the couch and getting active every little while. Our last video spoke about how we can get active. Please check it out at the link below. So here are the points we're going to discuss. So you have to reduce the foods that cause inflammation. Okay, so number one is sugar. You have to cut down on sugar because this causes inflammation and it gets stored as fat. Okay, our bodies need sugar, but most of the time when we take it, we always, most of the time, 90% of the time, take it in excess. So if we take the colon and the digestive system, sugar usually gives a negative effect on your digestive system, and this increases the risks of things like colon cancer, digestive issues. Try and work on probiotics, things like yogurt instead of sweets, for example. Remember to try and take your sugars in things like dairy, but not too much. In fruit, in abundance is fine. Just look at things that don't have added sugar. So this will disrupt your metabolism and make even long-term damage that gives you diabetes risk. Number two is try and cut down on gluten. Gluten is always abundant in things like wheat, but try and take it in unprocessed food form. It's also high in processed food in things like cookies or biscuits. Cookies and biscuits and which we are very common snacks which we take in Sri Lanka, even packaged snacks, they also are very highly processed and low in fiber. One of the best ways to cut down on gluten is to just cut down on carbs. It's not a very long-term solution and not a very long-term fix here. So let's try and cut down carbs within the first 2 weeks during our reset period. So during the pandemic, lots of people have started snacking, and most of the time it's very, very unhealthy. Very few people have cut up a fruit and had it as a snack. Lots of people, for example, will go on having these snacks lying around. So try and focus on meal prepping and meal planning, and focus on long term. So have a plan ahead, maybe even 3 to 7 days ahead, and plan the meals you're going to have throughout your week. So one of the best ways where you can get food that's available here is go for nice red rice, oats, or even quinoa. If you can get access to quinoa, that's also a good option. Some of the best gluten-free solutions which we tell our clients are apples, bananas, nuts, boiled eggs and carrots. Those are easily accessible and affordable foods you can find in Sri Lanka in any supermarket. Number 4 is alcohol. As Sri Lankans, we are very famous to have alcohol, but over the COVID period, lots of alcohol consumption has increased. It's a lot. And some people have started drinking as much as early as maybe 10 a.m. So some people think they're having a small drink, but it leads to 2, maybe 3, maybe as much as even 5 drinks before lunch, and you're halfway through your work day. So the problem with alcohol, it inhibits the systems and it overtakes your food digestion. So that's why the results from alcohol, you might feel very, very quickly. You will feel high from drinking alcohol faster than you would feel, for example, sleepy or heavy after having a meal, because it tends to have priority and the body tends to process it faster. This in turn stops the normal digestive process of other things like micronutrients, like vitamins and minerals as well. So one of the most important factors of weight management is sleep, and alcohol destroys your REM sleep. So this in turn, you might feel that you slept really solid for maybe 4 or even 6 hours after a little bit of more alcohol the previous night, but you realize that throughout the day you'll be very, very tired and dehydrated. So getting back to the 2-week reset, try to get away from alcohol because it's just empty calories. 750 to 1000 milliliter, 1 liter bottle of alcohol can usually hold as much as maybe even 2000 calories. So if I ask anybody to eat 3 kottu rotis, that wouldn't happen. A kottu is usually about 600 calories. Okay, maybe you can eat 1, maybe 1.5. Maybe there are a few record holders I know who can eat 2 kottus, but the similar amount of calories is actually about 3 kottus in 1 bottle of alcohol. So it's there are lots of Sri Lankans who can easily put down a bottle of alcohol, but who can't put down say junk food. That will be about 2000 calories of junk food in one single sitting, but they can drink it. So alcohol is a lot of empty calories. Even in the junk food, you still might find some kind of carbohydrates, some kind of micro and macronutrients, a little bit of protein. You know, you'll always find those ingredients, but you will never get any nutrition from alcohol, only just negative effects like long-term damage, inflammation, bad sleep and rest patterns, weight gain, and obviously dehydration and liver damage. Number 5 is what we tell people about timing. So when we talk about nutrition, we always talk about what quality, okay, quantity and timing. So the quality is always what kind of food you're eating, good versus bad, unprocessed versus processed. Quantity, when we're focusing, is are you going to have 2 instead of 1 spoon of rice, 4 instead of 2 slices of bread? So that's usually quantity. There is not much of explanation needed. Timing, what we need to know is, like, for example, when you do the body composition scan with us, we give you what you call is a basal metabolic rate. That gives you what your body will use up during your basal metabolic rate. So for example, there are 3 functions we'll just take for example. So your heart has to beat, your lungs have to work, and your food has to slowly digest during your sleep. For example, when you're lying in bed and you're not doing anything, those 3 functions are 3 basic functions that go with, which are not within your control. So when you look at the amount of calories that takes, which will say, for example, quite a 6-footer big made guy will say uses about 2400 calories within 24 hours if he's lying down in bed doing nothing, no activity. Okay, so that's about 100 calories an hour. So if he has a 12-hour break between dinner and breakfast, if he has a 600 calorie meal, that body will use up the 600 calories within 6 hours of sleep, and the ballast 6 hours can be used for rest and repair of the body. This can also mean that those three functions, the heart, the digestion and the lungs, that function will use up body fat because the calories from the meal have already been burnt out. The other option, if you want to burn extra calories, is try our morning workout. So we have 6 a.m. Monday to Friday, 5 days a week. It's a 1-hour session. We have different sessions for muscle, cardio, kettlebell, circuit workouts, ab workouts. You can try them 5 days a week. Just drop in and try one of our workouts at any of our locations, including Independence Square, the beach, and you can always give us a shout if you need to find out. Just email us or check out our website at the link below, and you can get more information from me or the team. So number 6 is the bottom line. So now we have cut down on gluten, we cut down on sugar, and we've cut down on alcohol. Trust me, in that 2 weeks you will feel like magic. But during that 2 weeks, also take notes of how uncomfortable you felt, what things didn't make you feel that great, some things that actually made you feel lighter or heavier, or experiment with healthier foods that you can take for dinner before sleep. So you can think about what kind of foods have helped you sleep better. So kind of listen to your body and make little food logs. Those things can go a long way, and you can sit and have a chat with our dietitian and they can give you some advice on that as well. So continue on making food your priority. Remember and just note that we didn't really push exercise that much. It was just the alcohol, the gluten and the sugars. So if you can focus on reducing the processed food, focus on cleaning up your plate. So usually if you're looking at weight loss, we would say have 25% of carbohydrates, 25% of proteins and 50% of green or leafy vegetables. So we've done this many times before, and trust me, it is effortless to lose as much as 1 kilo a week with just a little bit of walking. You throw in about 40-minute walks a couple of days a week, maybe 3 to 4 days a week, and trust me, losing a kg, 1 kilo a week, yes, that's what I said, easy peasy. Okay guys, so stay tuned for our next video, which is about NEAT. It's not about being neat and tidy, so it's about non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So it's what ways you can burn calories. 6 ways will be put down. What just general activity that you can use up to burn more calories than just usual activities like walking or cooking. All right. So take care, guys. I'll see you soon. I'm Jimmy Rosario, Sweatshop Fitness.